first sport I'm going to talk about is women's volleyball. Chinese women's volleyball has done particularly well in the Olympics, especially during its golden age in the 1980s, when famous Olympic player Lang Ping helped the team to 4 world titles, including the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. In 1996, now former player Lang Ping began coaching the Chinese national team, bringing them to a silver finish in the 1996 Olympics. She resigned from coaching the team in 1998 due to health reasons. In 2005, Lang Ping took a job as coach of the U.S. national volleyball team. 3 years later, they beat China's team for the silver medal in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, and Lang Ping was branded as a traitor. She then returned to coaching the Chinese volleyball team, and, at the 2016 Rio Olympics, finally captured that gold medal, redeeming her image in the eyes of China. Ping pong is one of the most popular amateur sports in China. Its relatively small and inexpensive equipment makes it readily available to just about anyone, rich or poor, urban or rural. Ping pong has been in China since the early 1950s. They won their first world championship against Japan in 1959. Ping pong, or table tennis, became an Olympic sport in 1988, and since then China has won 53 medals, 28 gold, 17 silver, and 8 bronze, taking home at least 1 medal in every event since 1992. Ping pong has been important in China for political reasons as well. In 1971, in the heat of the Cold War, the U.S. ping pong team was invited to China after playing in the World Table Tennis Championship in Japan. The team, which arrived on April 10, 1971, were the first Americans to step foot in China since 1949. This invitation reopened dialogue between the two countries and paved the way for President Nixon's visit to China in 1972. This unusual but effective diplomatic event became known as ping pong diplomacy. Basketball was introduced in China in the late 1890s by YMCA missionaries. Everyone in China embraced basketball, from college students to scholars to members of the Communist Party. For most of the mid-1900s, the best players were from the military teams. The best military team at the time, Bayi, produced the first Chinese player to ever play in an NBA game, Wang Zhizhi. Although Wang Zhizhi was the first, no one influenced basketball in China like Yao Ming. Yao Ming was drafted as first pick in the 2002 draft as a center for the Houston Rockets. He stayed with the Rockets for 9 seasons before retiring due to multiple foot injuries. Yao Ming opened the doors for the NBA to begin recruiting in China. In 2007, Yi Jianlian was drafted by Milwaukee, and just this year the Rockets drafted forward Zhou Qi. Yao Ming also played for the Chinese national team in the 2000, 2004, and 2008 Olympics. He was an 8-time All-Star and 5-time All-NBA player who, in 2016, became the first person from China to be inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame. While soccer, or football, is widely supported in China, the teams are not the most highly ranked. According to FIFA, the Chinese men's team is ranked 81st, and the women's team 14th. In the hopes of increasing their world ranking, the Chinese government opened the world's largest football academy, Evergrande International Football School. The school opened on June 13, 2014. Its 167-acre campus hosts over 50 football fields and nearly 3,000 students, taught by a group of Spanish and Chinese coaches. Though the Chinese are working hard to improve their soccer ranking, one thing they don't need to improve is their diving. Since diving's induction into the Olympics in 1904, China has won 40 gold, 19 silver, and 10 bronze medals, putting them in second place behind the US. At the 2016 Games in Rio, the Chinese teams won gold in 7 out of the 8 events. Famous female diver Wu Minxia became the first diver to win the same event 4 times, in her case 3 meters synchronized, in 2016, 2012, 2008, and 2004. She also won gold in the 3-meter individual at the 2012 London Olympics, making her the first diver in history to have 5 career golds. Martial arts are extremely popular in China and a representation of Chinese culture. They are said to have originated in the Shang and Zhou dynasties. The Tang dynasty marked the implementation of Gong Fu examinations, where candidates would receive titles and awards. This helped to spread and furthered the development of martial arts in China. During the Qing dynasty, martial arts were banned, so many martial arts schools were formed to continue practicing in secret. In 1936, the Chinese martial arts team went to Berlin for the Olympics for the first time. At the time, the only forms of martial arts at the Olympics were wrestling, boxing, and fencing. Since then, 2 more have been added. In 1964, the Japanese sport judo was introduced. Following that, the Korean taekwondo was introduced in 1988, though it was not an official Olympic sport until 2000. Prior to the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, China pushed for the addition of Chinese wushu into the Olympics. However, their request was denied, as the Olympic Committee felt not enough countries would be able to participate. Regardless, the Chinese have done fairly well in Olympic martial arts, especially the women. They won 3 gold medals in women's judo in 2008, and a gold in women's taekwondo in both 2008 and 2012. They also won a gold in both men's and women's taekwondo in 2016. You can't talk about sports in China without talking about badminton. China is ranked number 1 in the world with 41 Olympic medals, more than double the next best teams, Indonesia and South Korea, which each only have 19. This may have to do with the government's involvement in the sport. The Chinese government fully sponsors all badminton players, paying for food, housing, equipment, and training. However, China's reputation in badminton was put in jeopardy in 2012 when 8 female badminton players from China, South Korea, and Indonesia were disqualified from the London Olympics for trying to lose matches in order to face easier opponents later on. While the South Korean and Indonesian teams tried to appeal the decision, the Chinese team accepted the charges, and the coach issued an apology. However, the Chinese still managed to win gold in all 5 events. They came back in 2016 to win 2 gold medals and a bronze.